Welcome back to the Better Man Show. I'm your host, John Matuz. I'm here with Coach Michelle Wilson. And so I've had a crazy couple of weeks, and we're going to start a program a few weeks ago, but I've been camping, kayaking, trade show. Then I had to go to Ohio for a sales conference. And so I've been keeping up with my exercises. I've been eating pretty good, but I really want to go 100% on her program you can download on your phone from her company that she works for called First Form. So we're going to start this on Tuesday. So it's Saturday now. I've got 2 more days. I'm going to be doing some bike riding tomorrow, workout. We're doing paintball with my daughter because it's her birthday.
Yay.
And then Monday's Labor Day. So we're doing some, hopefully some body surfing that day. But starting Tuesday, we're going to be all in. So Coach Michelle, welcome back. So we're talking about First Form. It's your company. It's an app that goes on your phone. And just go in and kind of explain that to us and how that works.
Well, I'm actually a Legionnaire with the company. It's a company based in St. Louis. And really, it's a company founded by people who, we struggled with our weight growing up. Andy Frisella and Chris Klein are our founders. And they've even supported growing up. And this really has been a lifetime of, all right, we got to get our job done. We are nutrition and getting our fitness going, and then falling on our face, and then learning how to get back up and get back onto building what it is that we want, our goals, failing again and continuously doing that. And I've been with the company for over 10 years now. And I honestly feel like I've gotten more a hold of my everyday fitness than I ever have in my life, because I've had body image issues. I've had food issues, all of that. I'm a former bodybuilder as well, and competitor. And really, it's a mind game. And if you don't tie that mind aspect in and feel like you have that community or that support system, it's really going to be hard to achieve that goal successfully or within, that time manner that you're wanting.
Yeah. So, talking about that, we all kind of came from that. You're a lot younger than me, but we sort of still came from that same era of, basically Spartan type of training that probably wasn't great for us, right? I remember as a kid growing up, when I had to make weight or I had to get ready for something, my coach would make me live at his house, and he would sit up on the roof of the back of his house, and behind his house was a schoolyard, and I'd have to run around that schoolyard until it was time for dinner. And then I'd sit at the table with his family for dinner. They'd all eat food. I'd get a glass of water and a piece of an apple. And then that I had to stay with him until I cut weight or made weight or the next event. And, we don't have to do that, right? You don't have to kill yourself to hit the goals that you want anymore. And I learned that working with Al, that, it's not easy, but it's simple, right? If you just follow the rules, do what you're supposed to do, eat what you're supposed to eat, drink what you're supposed to eat, it's not complicated, right? If you just follow the rules. And that's what I like about your program, just kind of going through it before we started our show tonight, how easy it is. And it basically tells you everything you need to do. It's like being in the military. You wake up, they tell you when to eat, sleep, do this. All this stuff to say, this is your workout this morning, get it done. Yeah. This is what you're going to eat today. That's all you got to focus on. Drink this. And,
I'll be honest, a lot of times, and the reason why, and we've talked about this before, there are going to be coaches who, hey, there's no excuse. You're starting on this day. That's how it is. And yes, if this was your job, if you were a professional athlete, if you were going to be stepping on stage for a show or something, it's a totally different scenario, totally different mindset. I am to both men and women, especially who are former athletes, who we kind of thrive on needing that regimented lifestyle, but with a little bit of give on the end. You want to enjoy the paintball party, right? You want to enjoy your, to have cake and all that and not feel guilty with it. And I know I struggled with that as well. I want to have this piece of cake because it is a celebration, but lifetime, a minute on the lips, a lifetime on the hips kind of mentality in my head as well. Mm-hmm. We want to kind of break that. Also too, that over restrictive stuff. And then that, just run ourselves to death in the gym, on the treadmill, all that stuff. It's not good for us hormonally or aging. Okay. It's not good. You're going to be stripping even more muscle. And then all of a sudden you're going to be this frail little old thing that can't get up off of the couch. And then what are you going to do? You can't enjoy your kids, your grandkids, and that's really what we're wanting to completely avoid.
Yeah, because like we were talking about when I first started this with Coach Al, that this is going to be a lifetime deal. This
Right.
isn't going to be just like a 6-month event or getting ready for something. Because how many people do we know that did something like, I don't know, like keto or something like that, where they look great for like 6 months, and then
Mhm.
you didn't see them for a couple months, and they were just as big as they were before, or just as miserable, because you can't live like that. I mean, I can,
Yeah.
and that's why I like what you're doing, what Al taught me. It's something you can do for the rest of your life,
Hmm.
like a weird thing that it's impossible to follow. I mean, some people can, sure, but how long is that sustainable?
Exactly.
I think something like this is exactly what everybody needs, especially people that are, I'm much older than you, but people that are, kind of at our age, in our situation, where you got a real job, a real life, a family,
Hmm.
you need something that you can work on. So, go ahead and tell us what the name of your program is, how you get signed up, kind of what we're going to be doing, for the next 5-6 weeks.
Perfect. Well, I work with and I run the Brick House Body Facebook group, and really, it's a small little community of people who just want to get better. Yes, we want to look good. That's a benefit to it. But more importantly, we want to be better. We want to make sure, hey, we are strong enough to keep up with our kids so we can keep our kids safe as well. I mean, it's a crazy, crazy world right now. I mean, I live in Colorado, so you can only imagine. You got to make sure that you're prepared for anything nowadays. And not only that, but I want to be that role model for my girls. I mean, the best way to get strong is to admit your own weaknesses. And it's like, hey, if I don't face my weaknesses and make myself better, I'm leaving my girls open to never knowing how to make themselves better if they were to face that same situation. So
Right.
it really does start with us. And what I do, and like I said, I've worn so many numerous hats. I've been a personal trainer for well over 20 years. I got my degree at CSULB. I know people are going to, or Long Beach State, people are going to ream me for that, but I'm of that era as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
I went when we went Long Beach State.
Yep.
And like I said, I've had my own weight issues. I first joined Weight Watchers when I was in first grade. So when I say I've had lifelong issues with this, hands down. I did do competitions. It both helped and hurt me because, again, I've shared with you as well, if that mental isn't lined up for the right reasons, and I was doing my competitions for all the wrong reasons because I just wanted to get that six pack because I never had one before. I wanted to wear a bikini. Granted, this was like the smallest bikini you can possibly get and wear it on stage, but I wanted to because I never did that before. I never
Right.
had, it was so far off. And now it's like, yes, I am thinking about competing again, but it's to show my girls again how to focus on strength and to do so properly in a healthy manner. Because the way I did it, it could have caused me to, and again, I've been through many things at 34, go into menopause and have hormonal replacement 10 years. And a lot of that has forced me to say, hey, this was because I was looking for the shortcut. I was looking just like, how quick can I get there? And then once I was there, I had no after plan. And then all of a sudden, I would gain 30 pounds in a month after a show and have that constant cycling. So, what we want to do with Brick House Body is show you that, hey, if you're willing to put in the honest daily work and get dirty sometimes, guess what? You can build a structure that is so healthy and happy that you are proud to show off for your family in the best, where you're including yourself in photos and in videos and doing all that. That's what we want to promote. And that, again, that's going to bleed into your kids becoming more active, them encouraging their friends, their neighbors, your neighbors' kids to come out and play and be more active. And that is how you grow and strengthen a community, not just on social media, but also physically your neighbors as well. So that is really the focus of Brick House Body. And the way we do that, uh, again, Andy Frisella, the founder of First Form, he also created a program called the 75 Hard Program. And what this is it's a mind or a mental toughness program, but you get the physical benefits out of it. And the reason being is because it does require you to do 2 workouts a day, both of them in 45 minutes, one of them requiring them to be outdoors. They cannot be back to back. They have to be at least 2 hours separated. Okay. But with how you get up in the morning, to get your workout in, and you're going to be coaching volleyball, we got that covered. Okay.
Yes.
So that's not a problem. And then you're going to have to drink a gallon of water a day, which I would be telling you to do anyways, and which every single person on earth should be doing every single day. Okay.
Right.
And then you're going to be taking a daily progress photo. Now, this one, you don't need to share anything. This is just, again, that accountability factor, paying attention to details. And then not only that, you're going to see progress over time. Okay. Making sure that you're reading 10 pages of a nonfiction or personal development book, something that's going to allow you to, hey, get that one step better, or that bees book that you were telling me about that's linked to your grandpa. Hey, a lot of us, how we conduct ourselves today is because we are, we've been inspired and imprinted, especially by our grandparents of our generation. Our grandparents were heavily involved in our lives. And hands down, I highly encourage you to do that. And then following a nutrition plan. And that's one thing we're going to actually go through inside the app as well. So when you're ready, we can actually get you all set up inside the app, because it is super simple, with your profile, your nutrition, your training plan, even down to your reminders and notifications on the app, to make sure you're at least laying brick by brick. You're laying one brick down each day at a time, getting closer to your goal.
Right. So I'm asking everyone that wants to do this program to go on, but they have to make sure that they put you in as their coach, correct?
Right. Yes.
So it would be under Michelle Wilson, or how should they sign up on that one?
What they would do is that they would actually go to the link. They can just type in firstform.app/Michelle Wilson. Or if they want to go ahead and on Instagram, and this is going to be the easiest way because I can just shoot you the direct link.
Okay, great.
Yeah, just hit me up on Instagram at MLWilsonFit all together. And then I can just go ahead and shoot you the link, and that will directly have you or have me as your coach. You can go through the app store. You will get a phenomenal coach, but there's just no guarantee that it will be me. So contacting me through Instagram would be the best way to make sure that I am helping you.
Yeah. So if you're watching the show, make sure you go through Michelle, just so we can do this program together. Yeah. And, you're saying, I feel bad that I wasn't able to stay on this thing for the last few weeks, but, especially at those sales conferences, they occupy every moment of your day, night. It's ridiculous, right? You've got to socialize. You got to talk about this. You got to get present. And I mean, I was getting my workouts in my hotel room, but also at the hotel room gym. But you know how those gyms are. I mean, there's only so much you can do in there, right? They're the size of a bathroom. But I was staying on board and I was eating right. But it just wasn't a time where I could do all the other stuff that I needed to do, just because there just wasn't any time.
And there is preparation involved. And that's actually one reason why I didn't press it, is because, one, we have to have that confidence and that foundation already set in place. So then you have that confidence of, hey, I know my days are going to be long at these conferences and at these trips, and I'm going to be on my feet. I need to have that firm foundation to make sure I know I can get through this day and stay on track. That's going to take a little bit of time. And oftentimes when I am working with people, especially in the beginning, I want to know what's coming up, especially in that first, 2 weeks to a month, really, because that's the make or break. A lot of people, they end up not starting or, stopping after 2 weeks because they didn't have everything was going to be all lined up and have their days picture perfect in their head. I am so unbelievably guilty of that. But again, there's that reality. So I want to make sure that, hey, we have a system and set, and we're starting to gain that regimen, to gain that confidence. So when we have those business events or the social events, because the holiday coming up, that we have the ability to face those head on and make sure that that we are continue building.
Yeah, and I'm not saying this because I'm making up excuses, right? I'm just letting people know that, hey, if you run into a block in your life where you got to take care of your family, right? I mean, you got to pay bills, but don't just completely throw the program out the window. You got to kind of say, hey, look, I'm going to be this person, and I'm going to get in every bit of workout and nutrition that I can while I'm doing whatever I have to do to be a provider or be a productive
Exactly.
part of your family, right? So, yeah, I don't want anyone to ever get discouraged. 'Cause I'm never going to get discouraged. We're going to do this. We're going to make it work, and it's going to happen. So, could you just kind of go over like what a day would be like on this program? Kind of like, the 45-minute workout, like how many exercises, how many sets, kind of what you would eat, and then, some type of activity that you should do at night.
Okay,
Just
so
kind of like
perfect.
an example. Yeah.
So what I want you to actually be doing inside the program, so inside the app, everything we can customize everything specifically to you. What we want you to do, knowing that you're going to be wanting to do some 10Ks or even farther runs, that I think that's nuts because I'm not a runner, but hey, sure that again, we're setting a foundation to achieve those bigger goals. I want you to be able to say, hey, this is the platform that allowed you to achieve everything else beyond that. Okay. But again, it's going to take time. So with the activity and the training program I have for you, I've chosen for you is going to be the strength and muscle building program with the intermediate, at least for the first 2 to 3 weeks, just so we can assess, say, hey, okay, well, maybe, that the program you are just accelerating and we can actually do the same program, but at the advanced level. Again, just adding that next layer of bricks on it. Okay. What these programs are going to be looking like for you. Let me actually go into mine as well. Here. It's going to actually have 5 days of actual activity for you. Okay. What I want you to focus on, and this is for a lot of people, especially if they're wanting to do 75 hard, or they're on a time crunch and they see a workout, whether it be on social media or something that they want to follow. Okay. I want you to first focus on that 45 minutes, getting done what you can get done. As you get better, as you acclimate to it, you're going to be able to get a lot more done in that 45 minutes. Okay. Mm-hmm. So, and the reason why I say this is, again, because we're busy people, but we're also parents as well. So time has to be maximized, right? A lot of people have maybe 45 minutes to an hour. These workouts, again, I want you, if you can't get through the entire thing, that's fine. I want you to hit 45 minutes. Let me know where you got. And then, hey, that next week, you might be able to get like an extra set or an extra workout in. That's that progress that I'm looking for. Okay. But we're going to have it split to a bench day, a squat day, and then a GPP day, which basically is, I want you to think of functional movement day. Okay. You're going to be doing things like overhead walking lunges with ball slams. It's going to be conditioning stuff. You're probably going to love this completely.
Okay? Yeah, I love that kind of stuff.
Yes, exactly. And then we're going to be doing an overhead press day and a deadlift day. The basis for this program is, again, to start really making sure that we're building that muscle and that strength so we can have that endurance and that success in all the endeavors you want to do beyond this. Okay. Yep. And then also, too, we're going to have an active rest day. That active rest day, I want you just to go and do whatever it is that you want to go do. And knowing you're not sitting still. So I'm not necessarily worried about that. But again, it's that accountability. Just let me know, hey, we surfing and then we had volleyball practice, or we went for, a walk on the beach or something along those lines, a hike. Then I want you to actually take a full rest day. Now, in 75 hard, you don't have rest days. Okay. Okay. Again, this is something I want you to build up to. Again, I am not the creator of 75 hard. Help people be able to achieve that. Okay. What I actually want you to do is that first Sunday of those first 2 weeks, I want you to actually take that first Sunday completely off and recover. Okay. And the reason being is because that Monday, that from that point on, we're going to treat it like a 75 hard. All right. Okay, great. Because I want to set that mentality all up, and we'll talk about the activities again with the family that we can add, the family walks, all of that kind of stuff. We can do all of that, and that's actually something I want to encourage as well. But again, that's something that we want to build up to. And as far as your nutrition inside the app, we're going to be doing the macro meal plan. Okay. With that as well, you're going to be choosing the number of meals a day that you would like to eat. Okay. You can choose anywhere from 3 to 6 meals a day. And what this is basically going to be doing is going to be divvying up the number of calories that you should be consuming to hit your goals amongst those meals, that number of meals that you chose. Okay. Once you choose that, then we can actually go into the nutrition, and the format's going to be looking like you're going to be choosing a protein, a carb, and a veggie. And we talked about this a little bit last week. Okay. And you can go in, press the add menu, and it gives you an entire list that you can choose from. And we're going to go ahead and you can go ahead and select whatever it is that you want to eat and consume that day to keep it super simple. Again, I'm about ease, and we can copy and paste that. So you've actually created a meal plan for yourself that is going to help you stay on track and build that consistency, and then therefore that confidence in your ability to do this in all your events and trade shows coming up. Okay.
Yes.
Then for your goal inside the app, because it's gonna base your nutrition, the number of calories based on what your goal is. Right. I to focus on a lean bulk. So we're actually going to be doing a gain muscle. Okay.
Okay.
And the reason why I want to go over that with you is, again, because we had that mentality of, if I want to really lean out or with exercise, I have to eat minimally. Okay. This is actually going to require you to eat slightly above cutting caloric value. So we're still staying lean. We're going to gain a little bit of fat, and that's a good thing because we need that for the building of muscle, but not too much.
Right.
Okay. Because again, we want to make sure we're building that foundation for the future endeavors. Okay. So that's what I want you to place as your goal, is that gain lean muscle. Your activity level. How many steps a day would you say you take?
I've never measured, but like I said the other day at that airport, I went from Cleveland to New York to Minnesota to Orange County, and I probably ran about 5 miles that day.
Oh,
but
sure.
I do a lot of walking because I'm in the building industry, construction industry, and I walk projects all day long. So I don't know. I don't think I'm going to miss my steps. And then at night, I coach volleyball and I'm chasing balls all around that blacktop. So I probably ran a couple miles the other night. So I'm going to get my steps in. I don't have one of those counter things, but I'll probably get one because I don't have an iPhone. I use the other one. So maybe I'll get something like that just to count, because it would be interesting to see how many I get in.
In the app, let me just double check that we can, because we actually have a step counter inside the app that I know for sure, because I have the iPhone. It does link it to the iPhone. And then it also, if you have like an Apple Watch, it can connect to that as well. So that's something to see as well. And the only reason I bring that up is that because in order to select the right activity level for you, and oftentimes a lot of those that are in construction, you are taking anywhere really from 12 to 15 to upwards of 20 or more thousand steps a day. Okay. So you would be anywhere from that light activity to that very active activity.
Okay.
I am going to be more on the sedentary level, where I'm taking anywhere from 7 to 10,000 steps a day. Okay. So if we have the ability to find that out, let me just double check for you, and I'll see about making sure it connects to the Android. But
does Android make one of those watches too? Maybe I can just get one of them. I'll go by my provider and see if they have something. It'd be good for me just to have one. Okay, well, I'll see, because it might be something to have.
Yeah, and that way, and not only that, but it's something that again holds you just that much more accountable to, hey, this is what I need to get or do on a daily basis if I'm wanting to make this happen.
Okay.
I mean, I know people have mixed feelings about it, but that for me, that's where I see the benefit of it, is that if it's going to hold you accountable to doing what you need to do, then that outweighs any of the cons.
Okay, yeah, I'll go check
Yeah.
tomorrow. And then the one thing I want to talk about too before we wrap this up is, okay, so you mentioned some supplements that I should purchase through your company. Can we go over those again so I can write them down and make sure I get those in?
Sure, perfect. The microfactor is our multi-nutrient pack. And what that's actually going to have is going to have your multi-nutrient, multivitamin. It's going to have an essential fatty acid. It's going to have a fruit and veggie pill. It's going to have um, a digestive enzyme pill and a CoQ10 pill all in one pack. Okay.
Okay.
That is something I highly recommend, along with our OptiGreens. That's called what's referred to as our daily stack. The reason for these is that we want to make sure that our is possible so we can absorb as much of the nutrients as possible. If we're not able to absorb or break down and absorb our food, I mean, you're not building anything. You're really running yourself into the ground. Okay.
Right.
So that is the first and foremost number one thing I recommend. The next would be the level 1, which is our meal replacement protein. This is something, again, you can add to protein coffee. You can add to oatmeal for protein oats, baking. You can make smoothies. We were just talking about, because it is getting close to Christmas time, talking about Christmas lists. And the girls and I were talking about that Ninja Creamy. And they were talking about making protein ice cream using that. Something as well.
That
I know
sounds pretty good.
Yeah, or mud cakes. You can make protein mud cakes in the microwave. Super simple and easy to use. The flavors are absolutely amazing. Pumpkin spice latte just came out.
Okay.
If you're wanting to get that, it's limited edition, so make sure you're getting that.
Okay.
And then also too would be the post-workout stack, Formula One and Ignition. These are going to be in 2 separate bottles. And the reason for that is because not every workout is as intense as the next. Okay. When you have leg day or a heavy squat or deadlift day, that requires more energy from your body than just shoulders, for instance. Okay. So what that ignition does, it's a dexanhydrose glucose. It is the smallest molecule of glucose that you can get. And it's going to be able to spike that insulin to get in all that nutrients into your muscle from that protein as fast as possible. This is often the missing link for a lot of people, is having that fast acting form of glucose after your workout. Okay.
Okay.
Then the Formula One is our low temperature hydrolyzed whey protein isolate. And that is going to allow the muscle to get into that recovery state as fast as possible. So it's using that excess body fat as its fuel source and energy source throughout the rest of the day. That's how we gain that muscle strength and bulk while staying relatively lean.
Okay, great.
Okay. So those are my recommendations to start off. But if you have any questions beyond that, by all means, please feel free to let me know, because I'm happy to walk you or anybody watching this through the process if it helps them get that little bit better.
That's great. And then one thing we spoke about too, because my company does the same thing. I mean, we're completely different worlds, but I like the fact that all of your stuff is made here in the United States. So you can track the farmers, make sure they're doing everything right. I mean, Coach Al does the same thing with his products. I mean, he actually goes to the farms just like you guys do, and it's made locally. So you don't have any lead time issues or, supply issues. So that's always an important thing.
And some people might care, but it's called SQF level 3 tested, which means it's third party tested before, during, and after the process. So if it's off even just a minute little bit from the label in their testing, that entire batch is wiped out and disregarded. So they definitely make sure that they hold their products top to bottom to the highest of standards, because it's stuff that we take ourselves and that we give our families, and we want to make sure that we're giving them.
Yeah, that's great. And before we go, I just want to say that I was at a sales conference last week, and then I met with a few other companies. And so anyone that's listening right now, I've got these companies that are now including the Better Man Show on their weekly newsletter within their company. And so they've got other people signing up and getting on board. So yeah, if anyone would do that, I'd appreciate it. They were kind of excited about it, made me feel good about myself. And one more thing that I gotta, I hit another milestone is I get these, I'm not going to say what it is, but I get a permit that runs out every 2 years. And it's like there's a photograph ID kind of thing on it. And so I compared my picture this year that I just picked up yesterday to the one I had 2 years ago, and I look like two different people. So, thank you. Thank Coach Al. It's whatever we're doing is working, right? And it's not hard. I mean, we're following the program and we're seeing results, and I can't thank you enough.
Hey, like I said, when you put in the work and you're willing to get your hands dirty, good things come out of it. And it's you just willing to, hey, it needs to get done and putting the work in.
Well, great. Well, this wraps up this edition of the Better Man Show here with Coach Michelle. Thank you so much. And we'll see you next week. Thanks for everything.
You're welcome. See you next week.